I don't think I'm ever gonna get in through my stupid intros successfully. I don't know why I'm cursed with intros. I truly don't know. And they made me such a pretty intro, and I love my intro, and the damn thing glitches every week. I try it 3 different ways, I download it, I do all this stuff, and you know what? How you doing, Drew? Happy Sunday, happy St.
Happy
Patty's
Sunday.
Day. I
I
wore
don't
my
even have
green.
green on. I got red.
All right, virtual pinch. All right, I don't know how that works, but I'm sure someone out there knows how to do it.
I'll pinch myself.
There you go. So, for anybody that's familiar with us, I'm sure they've seen you around in production because you've been helping Johnny and Sean on the shows for how long have you been helping them? How long have you been with them?
Year and a half,
Something
something
like
like
that.
that. Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's been a long time. All right. So, but what people don't know about you is your passion is meteorology, right?
hmm hmm
So we're going to talk about that. And I have so many questions because this is a subject I don't know as much about, and I'm pretty excited to learn about it. So I think we're focusing because it's spring. We talked a lot about tornadoes
hmm
um, because they're so unpredictable. And yeah, maybe later we can talk about hurricanes when that season rolls around. But right now we'll do tornadoes.
I'm not as well officiated with hurricanes because I just don't have them here, so I
That's
don't worry.
true.
I
And
don't
I'm the
worry
same
about them.
way. I'm landlocked also. So boy, we always have tornadoes. Always. We had one actually a few days ago touch down in the town next to mine,
hmm
and it took a
I,
few houses.
you,
I know
you
you
were you were on live, and I was like, just a heads up, there's a tornado warning
I know it
just
was like
west of you.
and it was pounding and there so at the town not far over, there's pictures. I mean, the houses, there's nothing but planks left. I mean,
hmm
there's nothing left. And the cars that you could see, like the windshields, it's literally this big of the hole. It's bigger than a softball. Like it's like a freaking cantaloupe of hail. So yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, when it gets to DVD size, hell, that's when
You're in
it's bad.
trouble. You're in big trouble. Thank you, Battle X Cindy, for the phone. Hi, honey. Blessings to you. Love you, fam. Hi, Johnny. Thank you for the cookie. Yes, red pill. Click the red pills, click the thumbs up, whatever it is out there, please click it. Whatever platform you're on. So, where do you want to start? Should we talk about what like how do you define a tornado? What are the parameters of
hmm
what constitutes like when it goes from just a really awful storm, what happens in the weather that shifts it? And you tell me when you need me to pull the sites up and share screens and stuff cuz yep, you tell me what you need visually.
Um,
Or you
what?
can share your screen, whichever's easier for you, sweetie.
Okay. Um, what causes a tornado to happen? Is that what your question is?
Yes, that's the first part. When what the definition of it when it goes from like a really bad storm, what shifts in the weather that creates the funnel clouds and what all that is. We'll start there.
Um, it's the warm, moisture, unstable air along,
Okay.
like a cold front. Basically, when the cold air hits the warm air and they
Mhm.
fight, that'll generate the wind shear as well
Mhm.
as down on the ground.
Okay.
So when that happens, you get the turning of the winds, and then you get the the forming of the tornado.
Okay. And what other conditions can come during a tornado? Like, what are some of the typical, and then what are some of the unusual things that, like, I was just talking about hail. I always associate hail with it. Where I live, that's pretty common. Is it different? I mean, I know it comes with a bunch, it comes with a package of nasty. So,
Mhm. I mean, you can have your typical supercells. That's what we had here in Arkansas like 3, 4 days ago.
yeah.
And then those are the bad ones. Those that can be the really the strongest because they're by themselves and they just suck up all the energy and just
Okay,
keep
so
going.
if it's a single one, it's worse than if you have several?
Yes,
Am
it
I
like
understanding that right?
a big long line. You
Mhm.
have spin up tornadoes. They're not going to
Uh-huh.
last very long, but they're going to be on your weaker side. But they still can kill you. This tornado,
Right, 'cause
2x4
right.
go through you. So still take it really seriously. But those will be on your or the weaker side. But
Hmm,
when you get
okay.
supercells, that's when your EF3s to EF5s.
Yeah. Now, what is the definition for a supercell? Like, when you hear a meteorologist on the news saying, "Oh, you got a supercell," what exactly does that? Because like,
It's
we hear them throw these terms around,
uh-huh.
you know, but what do they mean? What are the differences?
A supercell is by itself. It's a long rotating violent storm. And then you get like squall lines. That's where the
Oh, yeah.
spin up cells, or
Yeah.
yes, the spin ups happen where the weaker tornadoes happen. So that's that's the variation of the supercell to the squall line.
Okay. Alright. How frequent do we see those? Is there any, like, I always hear people say about it's like an El Nino, and then it means that you're gonna have more of this or that. Is there anything like, like, is does that translate over into
it d-
tornadoes?
it does. I mean, El Nino and La Nina.
Okay.
Uh, El Nino, you get more warmer weather, or excuse me, the warmer ocean temperatures. So the trough coming off of like Oregon to the Central Plains, that can
Mm,
have a lot bigger impact.
okay. Okay.
But it just depends because tornadoes are so finicky with their ingredients and what they
Yeah.
need to really produce.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Goodness, it's a
But
picky
still,
thing.
but it still happens.
Yeah. I think I have another thank you I missed. Nope, wrong button. Daisy Chains, thank you for the cookie, sweetheart. She says she's been looking forward to this. She's such a sweetie. All of our team is. We have the best team. So, okay, if you at what point or should you take shelter? Like, find a basement, drag your photos and your pets down there with you. Like,
Well, just depending on how bad of a like your ingredients are, you could prep the day before if you wanted to.
okay,
Like
what
put
would
all
that
your
look
stuff.
like? Like a bug out
Uh
bag?
yeah, like flashlights, food, like baggy stuff. Because you might be in there
Mm,
like an hour or two, and someone might get hungry, and
right. Have
if
some
you have
granola.
kids or something like that.
Oh, yeah. See, I forget about I forget about that, but yeah. Yeah,
And
that
then
would
it's
that would make perfect sense. Have plenty of, diapers or whatever the hell you need.
and also like food for your dogs or toys to keep
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
occupied at the moment because some do have anxiety when it comes to
They have the
storms.
little thunder vests that you can get them.
Yes, it's
Do
I don't
those work?
remember what it's I don't know. Well, 3 of my dogs, they hear the thunder, they think it's gunshots, and it's just
Oh,
they bark.
mine have more anxiety over fireworks than other things.
Mine chases fireworks. I cannot have them out. They will chase them.
I don't even know how that works. Like it must
Hunting
be low.
dogs.
Oh, okay.
Hunting
makes sense.
dogs.
Hunting dogs. That makes perfect sense. Okay. All right. Well, because that was one of the things, like where I live, like my parents would never buy a house that didn't have a basement. Like that's how frequent,
Mhm,
like growing up, we had a tornado that picked up a tree in our yard and threw it on the roof. And
mhm,
I think I was in high school. And I mean, we came out and I mean, this is a tree that was 3 stories. Like this just tossed it like it
mhm.
was a toothpick. And
Yep.
watching the roots just twist it up, and then down the street, it had all the telephone poles, and it looks like a corkscrew just pulled them right out and threw them around. So I've always grown up with this.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's nothing to play with. We were just talking about, because I was joking that they're rebooting Twister, which I'm like, just write a new script. Stop rebooting stuff. Just just write new stuff. But we were talking about how dangerous it is for even the storm chasers and how many of them get injured or die. Like, is that a frequent occurrence? I
No,
remember
it's
hearing a
not.
few here
It's
and there,
not.
but it's not okay.
The
Because
la
we have a couple videos for that.
the last storm chaser that died happened he got hit head on by another storm chaser.
It threw the cars in.
No, they just wrecked. Basically,
Oh my gosh. I
hit
figured
head
they were
on.
like trying and like the storm
No,
flew in the shit,
no,
that's
they just wrecked chasing
That's totally
storms.
worse.
It was like that was the worst way to go, bro.
Yeah. Oh my god. Out of all the things.
But I guess he went loving what he did. So
Poor things. Well, what would be something you would recommend for people that they wouldn't know or should pay more attention to?
do you want to get into the radar holes? We can do
That's kinda
that.
what I was thinking.
I was thinking
I'm
that too.
fascinated by this. I didn't even know this existed until I mentioned to Drew. I was like, "Hey, what would you wanna talk about if we, like, what are some great things with spring and that we could talk about with that?" And he was like, "Well, the holes in the radar." And I'm like, "There's what? What? Excuse me? I'm not comforted by this. There's
pisses me
holes?
it pisses
Holes in
me
the
off
Okay, now
because
yeah. So for those of
people
you that are my age, does everyone remember the whole holes in the ozone because you use too much damn Aquanet? Okay. And I got holes in the radar.
it's not really holes. It's like that's
It's
what
not
they just call them.
ah, we have fun here.
But it pisses me off that people pay the same amount of taxes but cannot get the proper radar.
Yes. Yes. Oh, God, we pay so much stupid taxes. My area the county I'm in is the most expensive in the entire flippin' state.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very nice town, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure it's, I'm often like, "What the hell are you doing, really?" Like, really? Like, because our school system is not fabulous. So, anyway, another topic. What would you like me to pull up
um,
as an example of that? Because I have
lem
10 tabs open.
yeah, let me look. Um, I will say while I got it pulled up, the major cities that do not have these or have poor radar coverages are Allentown, PA, Athens, Ohio, Bangor, Maine, Bemidji, Minnesota, Brainerd, Minnesota, College Station, Texas, Columbia, Missouri, Gainesville, Florida, Greenville, Mississippi, Harrisonburg, Virginia, Kirksville, Missouri, Laredo, Texas, Mason City, Iowa, Meridian, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, Naples, Florida, Pierre, South Dakota, Poplar Bluff, Missouri, St. Joseph, Missouri, Toledo, Ohio, and Wausau, Wisconsin.
And these do not have a problem with your radar.
No,
Is that
they
what I?
do.
They
They
do.
do. They
They do.
do.
They have a
These are
big
the one
problem.
big problem.
You know what, sweetheart? Just share your screen because you know where you're going. So you just share
Okay.
your screen. And thank you, Von Hitch, for the can. Hi, hun. And Ash, thank you for the compliment. I saw that earlier. Bless your heart. Love my Ash. Love my girl.
Sharing
Love
screen
all of
is
our
not
girls.
allowed, it says to me. Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Yep, there we go.
Yes. Telegram, our favorite app. I tell you, I use the hell out of that one. Like I'm on the other ones, but maybe it's just me, maybe I don't know, but they just I can find stuff faster on Telegram. And I can
Yeah.
create an amazing news feed on Telegram. Like I can't do that as easily on the other ones. Like I'm on Truth and X and the others, and I don't post that much. Mostly I
Mhm.
lurk. I lurk a lot. So anyway, I got off topic again. Which one do
You're
you
all
want to look
good.
at here?
We can play this video. It's about a minute long if you want.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Let me get to it. Where'd it go? I'm so confused now. There we go.
Did anybody in the chat know that there were holes in the radar? Is anybody else freaking disturbed by this? Like, I'm not going to get over it. Like, I'm probably going to be bitching about it all week. Like, it's going to be a random Tuesday on Truth Blitz, and I'm going to be like, do you know there's holes in the radar? And Orion's going to be like, Mary, what? What? You need to let it go. And I'm going to be like, no, bring back Aquanet. No. My quirky humor. It'll happen. All right. Do you have it?
Oh, is it not showing?
No, precious.
What the F over? Why does it do that?
Okay. If you tell me which one, explaining wind tunnel.
Hold on, I gotta send it to you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Whoops.
Like I said, I've got so many up, I don't know which one's which.
The chat. Whoops, sorry.
That's okay. You're all over the place.
I know. I thought I was playing the video and I was sitting there watching it.
You are so funny. All right, 2 seconds. Let me pull this over. Thank you for the patience, audience.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, we want Ask Andrew. Here we go. Aren't you all impressed with me? I've come so far.
Andrew's taking all of your questions, weather related only and probably earth related only, and answering them with his excellent expertise. Andrew, take it away.
Yeah, guys, that's an exciting thing in the world of weather, and I can't wait to talk more about that here in the coming days as to what that's going to mean for our forecasting ability. Big progress there. Ask Andrew this week is all about Doppler radar, which is something on the ground here. We've had this technology around for decades upon decades, but Carter from Davenport's wondering what determines a radar site's location where they place these things. Well, let me show you a map of every single government-owned radar here across the United States.
You see the holes?
159 of them to be
Yes.
exact. We've got
What
one
the
at our
hell?
weather office here in the Quad Cities at the Davenport Airport. You've got one, of course, in Chicago.
I demand an
Lincoln,
audit.
Illinois, St. Louis. The biggest factor in determining the location for these, where is the National Weather Service office building itself? So ours here, literally right next to the building. You've probably seen it if you've been out by the Davenport Airport. But there have been some that have been located away from the actual National Weather Service office to fill in radar gaps. And we have quite a few of those gaps, as you can see on the map. Anywhere where you see the gray, or the white is where there is a radar gap. There's no coverage.
How in
So at times
today's
that gets filled in with
technological
these
age
extra
of
radars.
flipping
Another thing that
AI
determines their location,
and everything
how
else?
high are they off the ground, their elevation, and the proximity to buildings, because of course radar cannot scan through solid objects like buildings, TV towers, trees,
No
etc.
shit.
So very good question from Carter this morning. You can read more about this just before the 11 o'clock newscast this morning. I'll have that live on our website, WQAD.com. Search for
think that's
Ask
good.
Andrew. You can see today's answer.
Okay.
And if you hit this right here
That-
below,
that
you
is
can submit
wild
your
to
own
me.
question that I'll answer.
That is wild.
This one explains it a little bit better.
Ooh, I got more. Okay, let's do that one next. Okay, is it the embedded video?
It's a woman speaking.
Okay.
Durant to get a new radar to fill in radar holes.
All right, 2 seconds. Looky there. Okay.
The city of Durant received a $1.6 million grant yesterday to go towards a new Doppler radar. This is to help to track storms out in southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. This area of the state and northern Texas is what meteorologists consider a
Yeah,
radar
Oklahoma
hole.
really
What that
needs good
means is
radar.
that there is not a radar within 100 miles of this region. Highlighted in these red circles is all of the radars within the region, and then about 100 miles out from that radar. So we have a radar in Oklahoma City. About 100 miles out from that is close to the Texas-Oklahoma state line. You can see all of those radars covering various portions of the state, and we can choose each radar to watch different storms. Unfortunately, you can see exactly where it is not highlighted red, and that's what we consider a radar hole. So let's take, for example, Oklahoma City and Durant. Why can't we record any of the storms
What
out
the
there?
heck?
Well, we can still get radar data from those storms out there, but the farther the storms are from the radar, the less likely we are to see those storms at the surface. And we're seeing the data from farther up in the clouds. So about 10,000 feet is where a lot of that severe weather occurs, and about 100 miles is whenever we're missing that first 10,000 feet of data. So on our graphic here, what we're attributing this to is the curvature of the Earth, because the Earth curves even just
Earth's
so
not flat.
slightly. That period of distance, about 100 miles, it's really
don't know
impacting
that.
radar data that we're getting. So hopefully this new radar out in Durant is really going to help to track storms with more accuracy on radar.
Okay. So many questions. One, why is she 12? Two,
I don't
she should
know.
have rehearsed her teleprompter thing a couple more times because she struggled. But why in today's age of satellite, Tesla, Laserland, why is this a problem? You know what I mean? Like, and I think even what I'm catching in the chat, like everybody's kind of saying the same thing as what I've just said of how is this even in today's modern age of all of this crap that we have at our fingertips? No one expected there to be this.
Mm-hmm. That's what majorly a lot of storm chasers complain about.
Well, yeah,
Because
that's very dangerous.
because that puts their life in danger, first of all.
So how big is your average? Like, am I right? Were they saying up to 100-mile gap? Surely not.
No, the radar goes through 100 miles
Okay.
each
So
way.
how big are the holes?
I mean,
I know they're not all the same. It
No,
depends
no,
on what
they're-
area.
areas. St. Louis is a fucking big one.
Yes,
Sa-
hairspray holes, ladies. I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to be talking about Aquanet all fucking week. You buckle up. I may have to go find a can and like set it on the desk. Not going to let it go. It's not going to happen. Mm-mm.
But yeah, I sent you that video of one of the storm chasers bitching about it being in the radar hole the other day.
Which one is that? Let me see.
That was in
I have
Texas.
largest? No.
Oh
Storm
no.
Chaser Death,
I'll have to find that one.
most powerful, and then I have Playing Field. Those are the only 4 I have.
I think I sent it in the mod chat.
That would be why I don't have it.
Yeah, that'd be why.
That's okay. We have so many locations to choose from.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
it
catch
was
up on gold pills while you're finding that
okay.
one. Let's see. Daisy Chains, Von Hitch, Lance donate 1,000 gold pills. Hi, Lance. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, everybody, so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate anybody that comes and spends some time with me on a Sunday evening. Seriously, I'm grateful for your time. Very grateful. Kamala is the biggest. What are you talking about, Duppy? Duppy always has the snark. He's got the best snark. I don't know what he's talking about. I always think of cackles and Venn diagrams when I think of Kamala. I can't wait for her to get on the debate stage. I don't even care who it's up against. It's going to be just glorious to just watch the struggle session. Okay. Did you find that site?
It's not a site. I was just videoing of
Oh, okay.
if you want to look at your Telegram.
Oh, all right. Let me.
It's about like a 10-second thing where he says, well, I can't see much because we're in a radar hole.
Right.
And there's like 3 tornadoes right there.
That's not helpful. Okay. So many.
It makes you very suspicious because a lot of tornadoes happen in these radar holes. I'm not saying nothing, but I'm just kind of cautious.
Are we having a harp moment? Are we thinking like it's a harp thing?
I mean, there's been several tornadoes in radar holes.
I wonder statistically, like what your average would be percent that it happens specifically in one of those versus the other. And then I would want to see it, how strong the tornadoes were, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Is it happening with like your highest class of ones and they always happen in the holes? Because that would be super suspicious.
Yeah, it would.
That would be really suspicious.
I have 3 of them.
You have 3?
3 incidents of where tornadoes have happened in radar holes. One, St. Louis happened. And then Pittsburgh. How the hell does Pittsburgh not have a radar?
Right?
How the hell does St. Louis not have one?
Well, and this is the thing, like, if it's a rural area where, you know, it's just stretches and it's just maybe like a really small little town that doesn't have you know, like, I could kind of see that, but for the denselier, oh, dear. For the more densely populated areas. I don't understand why they don't, because even if you're looking at it from a money perspective, if they have a higher population, it's a higher tax revenue. You know, if you have a little town of like 10,000 people, their tax revenue is going to the essentials. You know, you probably don't have a lot of surplus, I guess is my point. But if you're looking at Pittsburgh or St. Louis or, you know, I mean, they have like all of these crazy projects that we constantly see all of these. Why wouldn't you have like, oh my gosh.
What? This does not make sense to me. And I've been bitching about this for years.
I'm gonna have a hard time with this one. Your video will not download and play. Is there another one you would like to look at?
Oh, that one was fine. It was just like a 2-second video where he says,
okay.
"Oh, we're in a radar hole here."
Yeah, it's spooling.
You want a weird
Oh, that
situation?
had some really big hail. Yeah. Let's see some fun ones. Is
I don't
there
know if
where
there's
do
a
people
video.
find that list that you had that has or the map that shows the radar? Because like I would want to know if I was living in a radar hole. Like that
Mhm.
would be good information.
Let me get it for people.
I agree with you, Duppy. He's making a harp reference. Yeah.
Maybe
I
making
mean,
it
he's not
without.
openly saying harp, but yeah, like I know what you're. Yeah, Duppy, you and I need to do a show. We would go deep on whatever we were talking about. We would have a ball. So, okay. What is this YouTube? What are we looking at here? Oh, okay.
There-
This is Plainfield.
There's that link
Gotcha.
in
I'm on
the
it.
chat.
Yes, sir.
So this is a weird one. It's not about radar holes or anything, but it's mainly of just a fucked up situation that that the National Weather Service should have
Should have done
said
more.
yes,
So,
because it costs lives. This is
So-
the fucked up situation here.
see, and this is where I'm going with this. Knowing what we do about the climate change and all of the, like, I have followed the money down that rabbit hole. That's where I stopped giving a crap about the narrative because I followed the money. And once
Mhm.
I understood who was funding the climate change, I was done. And I know, so if yeah, it would not shock me at all. And I hate saying that. I
I
really
think
hate
this-
saying that.
I think this killed 7 people. I could be wrong. Could have killed more. But this thing was not warned, and it was probably one of the biggest in the state or the country.
Okay.
Top 5
All right.
at least.
Let's take a look. And this is 1990. Oh God, I remember this one. I remember this. I was. Yeah, I'm not going to say how old I was.
I was
Old
negative
enough to
8.
remember. Old enough to be watching the news.
1990. The sky grows dark over the small town of Plainfield, Illinois, while thousands of residents carry on with their daily activities, completely unaware that just to their northwest, one of the worst tornadoes in U.S. history is racing directly towards them. It's a hot and humid summer afternoon in northern Illinois, and severe thunderstorms are beginning to build along the horizon. However, to understand why this is happening, we need to turn back the clock 24 hours. It's August 27th, and the ingredients for a potent severe weather day are beginning to fall into place over the Midwest. Meteorologists are scanning the atmosphere, looking for 4 key ingredients that lead to the formation of severe weather. These are moisture, instability, wind shear, and lift.
There's your ingredients.
Moisture is abundant in August across the
Okay.
Midwest as rich tropical air makes its way north from the Gulf of Mexico, causing dew points to rise into the low 80s.
That's always
This
the Midwest
extremely moist
and
air,
the
along with
flat
high
areas.
surface temperatures from the summer heat, are creating an extremely unstable air mass with the amount of convective available potential energy, or CAPE, rising to an
CAPE.
unbelievable 8,000 joules per kilogram, over 8 times
That
what is
shit's
needed for a
unheard of.
thunderstorm to form.
Wow.
In addition to the explosive instability, a low pressure system and cold front are moving in from the northwest,
Yeah.
bringing in a broad trough of fast moving winds in the mid levels of the atmosphere, which are
You see
spreading
where your cold
apart
front and
or
warm front meet?
diverging over an area of
Yeah.
relatively calm and converging
Yeah.
winds near the surface. This difference in wind speeds at different levels of the atmosphere is called wind shear and helps to both force air near the surface to start rising and organizes a thunderstorm by tilting it on its side and separating the storm's updraft from its downdraft, preventing the storm from collapsing on itself and allowing it to
great
persist for
video.
extended periods of time. With all 4 major ingredients for severe thunderstorms now in place, the National Severe Storms Forecast Center had enough confidence to issue a moderate risk for severe weather across northern Illinois for August 28th. However, there was still one crucial piece of the puzzle missing. Although strong speed shear was present in the atmosphere, the winds near the surface were not turning significantly with height. This gradual turning of the wind direction as we ascend through the atmosphere is called directional shear, and it's an important factor that causes a storm's updraft to begin rotating, a critical ingredient in the formation of tornadoes. With this important directional shear missing, the meteorologists at the Storms Forecast Center issued a severe thunderstorm watch at 1:30 p.m., anticipating a powerful line of severe storms to develop. However, because the atmosphere lacks significant low-level wind shear, they made no mention of the possibility of tornadoes. Just before noon near the Illinois-Wisconsin border, the incredible potential energy of the atmosphere could no longer be held back, and a cluster of thunderstorms exploded like a bomb. This cluster of storms would slowly drift to the southeast, producing damaging straight-line winds and large hail before one of the storms began to deviate from the others and quickly dominated the atmosphere around it. It's around this time, however, that something unexpected happens. The winds at the surface suddenly change directions and begin to blow to the northeast, increasing the low-level directional shear and transforming the dominant cell into a powerful rotating thunderstorm called a supercell, greatly increasing the risk for tornadoes. The momentum was building fast as this supercell developed a rotating wall cloud and produced a few brief, weak tornadoes as it passed between Rockford and Aurora, Illinois around 1:42 p.m. An already bad situation became worse, however, as the storm began to wrap its rotating updraft, or mesocyclone, in a thick curtain of heavy rain and hail called the Bear's Cage, hiding whatever tornadoes that may develop within, and at 3:15 p.m., that's exactly what happened. The newly formed twister started out as a weak F0, doing little more than damaging crops and open fields and periodically causing more concentrated damage as the subvortices danced within the parent circulation. It's now 3:23 p.m., and the National Weather Service office in Chicago, unaware of just how dangerous the situation is becoming, decide to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for the areas downstream of the supercell, but decide not to include any mention of the possibility of tornadoes. With that decision, those in the path of the storm will have no warning of the invisible monster roaring towards them. The tornado continues moving to the southeast, gradually building its strength when something remarkable happens. The tornado's parent storm may have adjusted a nearby outflow boundary, pulling in the spinning air that exists along the boundary and leading it directly to the tornado. Like spraying gasoline on a raging fire, the tornado exploded in intensity right as it began to close in on the subdivision of Wheatland Plains. The tornado would strike the small community at 3:25 p.m., displaying its terrifying power as it caused major damage to dozens of homes and completely sweeping away 12 of them, scattering the remains of the structures for long distances
Just
downstream.
The path
The tornado
get
also
cut.
claimed its first life here,
It's
in addition to
wild.
injuring dozens more. However, the tornado was far from finished with its rampage. As the tornado
This is why
crosses
you need storm
135th
chasers on the
Street,
ground.
it begins to shrink in
Right.
size, yet as the tornado shrinks, the winds inside the vortex strengthen at a frightening pace, quickly becoming violent, and as the twister crosses West 143rd Street, it reaches its peak strength. The winds inside the core of the tornado are now roaring at over 260 miles per hour, easily placing the twister at the top of the Fujita scale, a rare F5. The now F5 winds of the vortex flatten hundreds of yards of crops and drill into the earth, causing intense ground scouring and tearing away several inches of the soil before exiting the field outside of the town at 3:28 p.m. Like a cloaked monster, the heavily rain-wrapped vortex crosses Route 30 in Illinois 126, picking up several cars and a 20-ton tractor trailer like toys before throwing them over half a mile away, killing their occupants upon impact. Weakening slightly to high-end F3 strength, the tornado then crashed into the southwestern side of Plainfield, closing in on the town's high school, where several dozen students had just run inside the gymnasium to take shelter after seeing the eerie green storm clouds of the approaching storm. As soon as the last student made it inside the school, the doors of the hallway they were sheltered in were ripped away with terrifying force as the roof collapsed around them. Remarkably, the hallway the students had sheltered in would be the only part of the building to survive the winds of the twister. Tragically, 2 maintenance workers, an administrator, and a teacher outside this hallway would be killed as the building collapsed around them. With brutal force, the core of the tornado then slammed into St. Mary's Immaculate Church, severely damaging the structure and killing 3 inside before mowing down dozens of homes and a grocery store with such ferocity that some were completely swept away with only their concrete foundations remaining. Trees here became so badly damaged that their bark was stripped off their trunks, and a video in this area revealed the winds became so intense that a steel dumpster was picked up and crushed beyond recognition before being wrapped around a nearby tree. The damage here was so violent that it earned a high-end F4 rating, and unfortunately, at least 9 people would lose their lives here, with countless others severely injured. There was a brief lapse in the tornado's strength as it exited Plainfield before it once again intensified back to F4 strength and set its sights in the city of Joliet. The invisible vortex smashed into the Crystal Lawns and Warwick subdivisions with terrifying fury, lofting vehicles into the air and destroying countless homes at F4 intensity as it narrowly missed the Joliet Mall, claiming 8 more lives. By 3:38 p.m., the tornado was now losing steam and slowly weakening, yet in a
So we're up
cruel
to
final
23
blow,
lives?
the dying vortex strikes the community of Crest Hill, destroying several apartment buildings and sucking 8 people from their homes and hurling them into a nearby cornfield before striking a vehicle and killing 2 more. The rapidly weakening twister would damage a few more homes downstream of the apartment complex before finally roping out and dissipating at 3:45 p.m., 2 miles east of downtown Joliet. By the time the tornado had lifted, 29 people had tragically lost their lives, with hundreds more sustaining life-altering injuries and over 1,000 losing their homes. In the span of just 30 minutes, the invisible and unwarned tornado carved a continuous 16-mile path of destruction as it traveled in a bizarre southeasterly direction, causing over $375 million in damage and vanished without a trace, cementing its legacy as not only one of the strangest and mysterious tornadoes in U.S. history, but also the only F5 tornado to strike the United States in the month of August, leaving behind both physical and emotional scars that would take years to heal. However, as the devastated communities began to pick up the pieces, one question lingered in the minds of the survivors. As soon as the Plainfield tornado had lifted, questions about why there had been no tornado warning quickly began to mount among the survivors. Amidst the increasing public backlash, the National Weather Service would launch an internal investigation into its Chicago office to determine exactly what had gone wrong on the afternoon of August 28th. The investigation found that the critical failures that led to the Plainfield tornado striking without a tornado warning stem from the fact that the forecasters had failed to recognize the well-known signs that the storm tracking through northeastern Illinois that day was in fact a tornadic supercell, nor was adequate preparation or infrastructure put in place for the office to receive reports of severe weather from either the public or trained weather spotters. On the day of the Plainfield tornado, none of the funnel cloud or tornado reports that occurred prior to the Plainfield F5 touching down ever made it to the National Weather Service office in Chicago, nor was the classic hook echo shape of the parent storm visible on radar recognized by the forecasters as the telltale sign that the storm was in fact a long-lived tornadic supercell capable of immense destruction. And ultimately, the National Weather Service failed the people of Plainfield that day. Yet, from this terrible tragedy came enormous progress. In the 33 years that have passed since the Plainfield tornado, things have drastically changed at the National Weather Service. In place of what was once a limited range of tools, training, and communication, has blossomed into a plethora of upgrades that let meteorologists peer inside a thunderstorm from both the skies above and the ground below.
We still have
With the
radar.
deployment of both an upgraded dual polarization
Yeah.
Doppler radar and the use of an extensive network of volunteer storm spotters through programs like Spotter Network, Skywarn, and even social
Come on,
media,
Scott Warren.
the National Weather
Shout out,
Service can
Scott
see
Warren.
exactly what is
Aw.
happening on the ground in real time and ensure that a disaster like Plainfield can never happen again.
Yeah. How long was the tornado on the ground?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Bad
That-
deal.
That's the thing. So many people that aren't like I grew up with this, but to people that are on the different coasts, it's so nuts when you think about that much damage in just a few minutes' time. Like, even if it's not a supercell, like the one that touched down where I was last week, I mean, it was down a few minutes and it wiped out a neighborhood.
Mhm.
And I mean, it was probably under 5 minutes. That's the thing, like why radar and things are so important because you have almost no time to take cover.
Especially when
And
it's
if you are
one
not
of
in a
those quick
basement,
spins.
like If you are not in a basement and you get hit with this, it is not going to go well. Like it is not going to go well. And you don't have time, like unless you have a neighbor right there that has a basement and they happen to be home, you're screwed. So we have radar holes.
Yeah.
Where's Captain Planet when we need him? Do you remember that?
I don't.
Probably
know.
don't. You're too young
Uh-uh.
for that one. You want a good laugh? Go look up Captain Planet episodes and look at the
Captain
cast on that shit. You will crack up. Oh, yeah. Well, what are some other interesting things that so people need to know if they're near one of these radar holes? So we've talked about the websites and things that you can go and find out if your area is in one of those holes so that you're aware.
Mhm.
We've talked about having a bug out bag or, some snacks, some things like that that you could grab and hide.
Oh,
Checking
this would be
real quick.
a good one.
Okay, what you got? I was gonna say, what are some other
If
things that
you're
we should
if you're ever in your car during a tornado, please
Yeah,
do
'cause
not
that
do
happens
this.
because they come up
Please do
so
not do
darn fast.
because of the wind tunnel effect.
Mhm.
You do not want to be under a overpass or anything like that.
Yeah.
Your best bet's be in the ditch if that's your last resort.
That's what I was always told, was ditch your car. Like, get in a ditch, get as far into an embedded ditch that you can. If you can ditch the car and if there's some type of, like, an overpass or something that you can run and hide underneath. But even then, if you're not in a
No,
car or something like that, like, the wind is gonna pick you up and fling you around.
yeah, you do not want to be
You don't wanna
under
be
that.
outside of the car, but, like, is it doesn't matter what you hang on to. I mean, if you're dealing with 80 and 100-mile-an-hour winds, and that's what this is.
Mhm.
Okay, am I playing this one?
Yes.
All right, let's see what we got.
Whenever you're traveling on the road and you come across a thunderstorm, you might be tempted to pull under an overpass to get away from the heavy rain. Understandable, right? But one thing we preach as meteorologists is this is not safe because of the wind tunnel effect. You have strong winds out in the open, but they can get even stronger beneath an overpass, and the reason why is it basically funnels in here and can create stronger winds. It picks up debris, can loft it right into that wind tunnel as well. So we tell folks not to park under overpasses for that reason. Also, folks that park under the overpass can block traffic behind them. With blinding rain, that can be a hazard as well. So those are just a couple of reasons we tell folks to just pull over to the shoulder, throw on the hazards, or find the nearest exit if you do find yourself in a strong thunderstorm like we had on Monday.
Okay, so
Quick
ditch is
and
best.
easy. Yep.
Yeah, ditch is best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you can just find a building.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ideal. Your chances are better there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
So I don't even think like a
Hot Tamale is asking if we have statistics on whether ditches are actually safe or the success ratio of surviving if that's what you did. I don't even know where to look for that.
oh shoot. I'd have to look.
And it's a fair question because
Yeah.
at this point we question everything that they've told, like an institution, whatever one you want to look at, but we question everything that they've always told us throughout our life. And this is an example too. Like, I've grown up with this and this is what you're supposed to do. How successful is that? Like, I can't say I've known anybody that, like, I've known people that were driving and looked off to the side and saw it fully down on the ground, like ripping through. And they've obviously tried to turn the car and go the other way. But the thing about it is the tornadoes, you never know which direction they're going to turn. It can decide it looks like it's going this direction, then it'll just do a 180 and come right back at you. And now, can they split off? Can you have one tornado that then like splits into two? Does that happen?
Say that again. Sorry, I was reading.
No, that's
Say that-
okay. I'm distracting you. I'm sorry, Drew.
You're all good.
I'm
You're
thinking
good.
on the fly here about all this stuff, and I'm like, ooh, what happens here?
Do they split? Yes, they can. Yes.
That's what I thought they could. I was pretty sure of.
And then they can like merge into each other, and then
Yeah,
that could cause the
that would be
main
a supercell.
cell.
Like if you had two that were like F2s or something, and they merged.
Well, the
couldn't
one.
that-
Well, the one. Sometimes that's not very good for tornadoes to produce because two of them are fighting for that same energy.
That's okay.
So they're sucking all that energy, and both of them will weaken. But sometimes the one is so powerful, it just sucks it up and it just keeps going. But that's rare. That's rare. They usually, when they merge, they weaken.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So if it splits, can they potentially get stronger if they're separated?
Yes.
Okay. So splitting is bad, merging is probably better.
The one that's going to go
Good
to
to know.
if they split like this and one goes that way and the one goes south southeast, that's the
Mhm.
one that's probably gonna
That's going to do
your-
it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. What would be any other statistics or information that you would recommend?
I think we went all through it in a car in a basement. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the main thing is don't panic.
I always know to look for the green sky. Once you have seen the clouds turn that green, it's this weird gray-green shade, and there's no mistaking it. It's the only time you will see. Think of like monster makeup. That's what that would be the easiest thing for the color, because it's not green like the shirt. I mean, it's this weird gray green that you would like zombie makeup or something, like it's that shade. It's just this weird shade. And once you've seen it, you're like, oh crap, I need to go to the basement. Better safe than sorry. That's how I always can tell. I always look at the shading of the sky. And also, in my experience, everything gets really quiet and really still.
Well, the green, I disagree because
Okay.
it's mainly the hail. It's got a strong updraft.
Okay.
And the reflection of the hail is coming back down. So that's mainly the hail. You sometimes have tornadoes, but not always when you see green.
Interesting.
So that's kind of a methy situation.
It's interesting. Where I live, hail doesn't, like if we have a tornado, it doesn't mean we're going to have hail. It can, but not every time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I always see green. Maybe it's me. Could just be me.
but sometimes it does happen. But that's why I said it's not like a myth, but people do get it kind of confused when they see green. They freak out.
Okay.
Tornado.
I'm one of those, huh?
No.
It's okay.
Tornado
I'm
is
teasing you.
green. Tornado is green.
I just, whenever I see the sky change and there's no wind, no birds, everything's perfectly still.
Now that's where I agree with you.
that is and it's this weird eerie sensation.
Because if basically it's a supercell and
This
you're
is
in the
where
middle,
the phrase "the calm before the storm" comes.
storm. Yeah, because
This is literally what that phrase is about. For those Midwesters, we know that. By the way, Matrix Codebreaker says hi to you in the chat.
Oh, I bet he did. Dang it, you got me.
Are you all like playing chat
Yeah.
tag or something.
Yeah, we always do.
He gave us a can. Thank you, love. Appreciate it. Gotta have, we've got to have more meme games. You know, I don't really know how to instigate that, but we should do more of that.
That's what me and Matrix do. If I see him
That's
in
awesome.
a chat, I'll just throw shit on him, and if he sees me, he'll throw shit at me.
Good times. Good times. But yeah, so that's where calm before the storm comes. It's the calm that always comes before like your tornado weather. You're
Your
really,
bear cage,
yeah,
as they
yeah.
called it.
That is
You
literally.
don't
I
want
don't
to
know if that works for hurricanes, but boy, it does for tornadoes.
I think that
You
would
see
be
that
like
sky
your eye
shift and
wall.
everything is deathly silent, and you'll get this little tingly sensation, and it's like, this is not going to be good. And now I know about radar holes, so I'm even more freaked out about it.
I don't think you got nothing to worry about. You're good.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you
it
are.
looks like I'm not in the weird place, but man, see, and all of us just assume in today's technological age that surely there's not gaps like this. And I get having a gap in an area maybe that's not populated, but it seems like a lot of these are really densely populated areas. So I think Duppy might be, our healthy skeptic in the crowd. I don't blame him on this one of questioning, why would you have that? Like, why wouldn't you have fixed that at this point? It's not like in the 90s, like 1990, they had this horrible storm and then they've made all these changes and blah, blah, blah. Why haven't they fixed it?
You think they would?
So what other storms would this be a threat for? Like, I know tornadoes are so dangerous because when they hit, it's so deadly and so quick, and you can't escape them. Hurricanes, you get the warning because you see them in the ocean and you can track the movements and they're ginormous. What other storms or anything would we be thinking about, considering, looking at? Anything you can think of?
Anything would be the snow totals would be a little bit off, but that's about all
Yeah.
that I know.
We haven't, so like every 30 to 33 years, we have what I liken around here called the Great Dump. And we will get like 1.5 foot in one day of snow. And then every 33 years we get flooded. It's weird, but it's like we're due for it. It's been a while since we had a Great Dump. I thought we would have one this year. That's what we locals call it. We're like, oh, it's about time for the Great Dump again.
Yeah, we don't get much snow down here.
No.
So
No, not down in Ross Perot country.
no, we get an inch down here and the state shuts down. No shit.
I had relatives in Georgia and it would crack me up because they would be like, we saw flurries and like everything quit. Everybody went home. Everybody called off. The stores were empty. And I'm
That's
like,
how it is.
it's flurries. Like I understand sleet and, ice on the, like I get that, but
Freezing rain's a different story.
flurries? Really? Flurries. Duppy's being bad in the chat.
Oh no. Are they ganging up on me?
No,
Oh no.
He's just being bad. Being ornery. I guess that would be like a normal evening.
That's normal, Duffy.
That's a TMI, sweetheart. Our chat is so fun on Pilled. Well, Drew, is there anything else that you can think of that we should cover or talk about? I mean, it was a finite, narrow subject, and I feel like we've done really well with it.
Yeah, I've done a lot better than I expected to do.
You're
I feel
doing
like.
great.
Coming into this, I was like, This is
You're
going to
like,
be
why
short.
did I agree to this?
This is going to be short. I don't know how we're going to do an hour and some of this, but it's worked out really well.
Oh, I'll prattle on about Aquanet and it'll be great. I'll just prattle on about stuff.
That one doesn't work. What is
Oh my God, Chris just had 2 feet of snow. Dude, I could not hack it where you are.
Jesus.
Like, I know it's beautiful country up there, but I could not do it. I really couldn't.
We
I'm
can
not
do
built
this
for,
one.
I'm not built like for the cold, you know? Like, I mean, I guess I would adjust, but I would rather not. It's not for me.
We could do this one. This is where the storm chesters died
Oh, okay. All right.
back in 2013. Excuse me.
Is that the one you just popped in the
Yes.
in our chat? Got it.
Yes. And this dude was an experienced weather chaser. So it does happen, but it's very rare.
Because that was the other thing that we were talking about was the frequency of these events for this. For anybody out there, revisit Twister. Great film. It's a fun ride for sure.
I kind of want to watch the second one or the rebooted one.
The reboot. Hey, you know, it might turn out well. I mean, I don't know. It might. All right. So this is when the Storm Chasers passed, and this is 2013.
Yes.
The target area commute on May 31st, 2013 was a grim reminder of the potential destruction a volatile atmosphere can unleash. Just 11 days prior, a killer EF5 tornado ended the lives of 23 people, injured almost 400, and destroyed over 12,000 homes as it ripped a mile-wide path through Moore, Oklahoma. No one would have imagined that this day would see a tornado more than twice that size. Here we are positioned on the dry line just west of El Reno, Oklahoma, awaiting initiation. Earlier this morning, the Storm Prediction Center issued a loaded gun warning for Oklahoma City and surrounding area.
Whoa, man, that was a jump. Oh, it's all right.
Mother Nature was showing her teeth, and unlike this female bull snake, it was not a compelling bluff.
Storm chasers are wild men.
Mm-hmm.
And women. I've seen women do it.
This grumpy girl is just eager to get to her underground shelter, where she and her belly full of eggs can help the local farmers control the rodent populations.
Whoa, hey. All right. We're going to let her go.
At 4:37 p.m., 3 small cells sprung up on radar, and 12 minutes later achieved severe status. Here we are keeping an eye on all 3 bases that eventually join forces to become
Thank you
one
for the cookie,
organized
Daisy.
storm.
Thank you, hun. And Johnny has a question when we're done.
We were headed south a few miles to get a better view of the storm, but had to stop and help a panicked snapping turtle sitting in the road. The storm had hardly moved, but was intensifying fast, and by 5:38, the brilliant minds at the Storm Prediction Center issued a tornado warning. Now we are about to witness the birth of a record-breaking tornado that will eventually grow to over 2.5 miles wide.
Imagine seeing that bastard in front of you.
Yeah. It is terrifying. Like when you actually live through some of these, and I have. Not quite like this, but I mean, man, I've seen some nasty ones.
That is ugly. Ugly tornado. Look at the size of that monster. Jesus.
Wow. Look at that flat. Yep, there's the cone. Ooh.
There it goes.
Yep.
Look at that.
See the point
Jesus.
coming down.
Man. Holy hell. Alright, this is gonna get really ugly really fast here. Look at that.
Just a warning, you do see them get flung in this video.
This is ugly.
Okay.
I gotta
It's
stop
very
and take some
short.
pictures.
The multiple
very-
vortex
they don't show
tornado
very
was moving
much.
faster now, growing in size, and while tailgating a line of other vehicles, I calculated a direct hit, so I whipped the car around and headed back west.
We're going blowing sideways, and there's a tornado next to me. People are gonna die today. Might be me. That's a massive tornado right there. Rapid rain.
Here we're blasting east, trying to catch up to the monster, which is now making a hard left turn, but I had to stop and help a panicked woman standing in the road.
So good I can borrow. My house is over by the airport. My husband is there. I'm here babysitting my grandkids.
Yep, I sure do. What's your phone number?
It's 918.
Hold on, who are we calling? Hang on. You're fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
918.
918.
This clip reveals man's best friend's internal struggle between loyalty and self-preservation.
Get into shelter. Do you have shelter here?
We've got a storm cellar with no door on
The
it.
worst is past. Get in it.
See, these are why storm
Your phone isn't
chasers are
working?
needed. They're mainly
Yeah.
medics,
Oh my
and they're
God.
very calm
Everything's
and
fine.
My
cool.
house is right across the street from the airport.
Wow.
Main thing is do not
It happened
panic.
right next to you. You're fine.
Okay.
Well, their phone is ringing, so here I gotta roll up the window because
Okay.
the gear's getting.
Shout out Matt 1776. Good to see you, friend.
At this point, the tornado is at peak width, a 2.6 mile wide EF5, the widest tornado ever recorded.
Tornado's still on the ground.
From my perspective, that appeared to be the end of the tornado's life. However, several other areas of strong rotation are now evident on radar, including a massive circulation
This is where
complete with an eye
you talking
entering
about
Oklahoma City.
The
where
split.
one location, yeah.
This is the split.
This is what killed those storm chasers. It just
Alright.
split off real quick
This
and
thing's
just
heading right
grew
for
so
Yeah, and that's how it
massively.
cut you off.
645
And in front.
and I'm not going to follow it into Oklahoma City and get stuck. There's another rapid rotation right behind this one. So Oklahoma City right now is under the gun twice, and it could get hammered twice just south of the city, close by where the last tornado went through more. All right, I've been in this line. It goes on forever. We're moving at 3.5 miles per hour, escaping the tornado. The tornado is moving 35 miles per hour, and we are going 3.5 miles per hour, escaping.
Many people's lives and homes were turned upside down by these tornadoes. Red Cross has made it super duper painless and simple for you to donate to disaster victims. Just text the words Red Cross to the number 90999. Red Cross will then tack $10 on your phone bill, and that's it. And then you go outside feeling all grateful and happy and important, because you are. This storm chase was sponsored by
Velvet Slipper Radio, powered by the Radio Agogo Radio Network.
Well, yeah, people actually do that. I don't know what the pay rate is for that, but do you know?
It's not
I mean,
very
are they
much.
like self-employed and do they
Yeah, it's
sell what they
self-employed.
collect?
It's basically self-employed, and
I was gonna
like
say, how do
they,
you hazard pay that? Like,
yeah,
how do you hazard pay that?
it's not a big money. It's you just gotta love it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
but people
that's
do
just
make money. I mean, if you get a
yeah, I
beautiful
mean, if you get really good
tornado,
footage and you sell it,
yeah.
that's if you sell it to TV stations and different things like that and you're monetizing it, then but back in the day, they didn't necessarily
Mhm.
do that. So how did they Did you want to answer Johnny's question?
I got a video for him. It's called
Of
cloud
course you
seeding.
do. All right, let's take a look at this one.
They made it rain in Dubai like a few years back. I don't know if you knew that.
I did actually.
So this is it.
So Johnny in the chat had asked how they could manipulate the weather to cause or increase the veracity of a tornado, to just kind of put that in perspective. So what we were talking about earlier, I'm sure most people know what we mean when we say HAARP, but that is a real thing. So
Mhm.
they've had the capability to manipulate our weather since like the 50s was
Mhm.
when they first started really talking about doing it. So, fast forward 70 years, it is not impossible to think that they could be doing things. Doesn't mean every occurrence is, but
Mhm.
I always feel like we need to entertain the reality that yes, some of this might be. Okay, Amelia, come on, honey. She
I
doesn't
know
care until I'm doing something.
the main thing is the seeding with the aerosols and the
Right. Now, some of
all
it is
of that.
aluminum particles too, right?
Yes.
Aluminum and metal particles that they put in the clouds. What I was thinking is all of those things, you can use frequency and pressure to manipulate metal and to change it. So couldn't that be one way that if you had seeded it with a particular substance, you could activate it one way or the other?
If it has the right moisture, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's not I would imagine it would be several steps that you would have to I
Mhm.
need to look at the patents. That's usually what I do. So that's one of my research tips out there. Whenever people say, "Oh, well, that's just not possible. That they don't own that," I quickly go over to the patents and just start looking up patents.
Mhm.
And if I can find a bunch of patents, and if big companies like Google, Facebook, or things like that own them, then I'm usually like, "Oh, yeah, that's possible." And probably some form of it is occurring. Maybe not all the time, but it's
Mhm.
possible. That's how I always look at it. I'm like, well, doesn't mean every time, but can't discount it as a conspiracy theory at least. All right, I'm gonna start this.
No, you can't because there's documents and shit everywhere.
It's declassified. Like, I love when people are like, they don't manipulate the weather. I'm like, but they declassified their stuff saying that they do in this
Yeah.
country. Like they have these places that we know about in multiple countries, but they have multiple locations in this country. Like, it's a thing. It's not like I'm always like, yeah.
The American Meteorological Society webpage, I can put it in the chat. It's
Oh, okay, that'd be great.
It's a good
and how it has
thing.
transformed this arid desert into a lush paradise.
So, yeah.
Get ready to be amazed as we reveal the secret behind this awe-inspiring innovation that is reshaping the world as we know it. Buckle up, because you're about to witness nature being controlled like never before. Dubai, a gleaming metropolis rising from the Arabian desert, dazzles the world with its architectural wonders and luxurious lifestyle. However, beneath the shimmering facade lies a harsh reality, the region's severe water scarcity problem. With scorching temperatures and scanty rainfall, finding a sustainable water source has been an ongoing struggle for the city. In the face of this pressing challenge, Dubai's forward-thinking leaders embarked on a mission to revolutionize their approach to water management. Aware of the limitations of natural rainfall, they sought innovative solutions to secure a reliable water supply for the city's ever-growing population and thriving industries. Enter the awe-inspiring concept of artificial rain, an ingenious solution that has captured the world's imagination. Artificial rain, also known as cloud seeding, is a cutting-edge technology designed to stimulate rainfall from existing clouds. The process involves introducing cloud seeding agents, such as silver iodide or potassium iodide, into the atmosphere to encourage water droplets to form around these particles.
This basically
These
explains
droplets
what-
eventually grow large enough to fall as rain, replenishing the parched lands below. Dubai's ambitious cloud seeding program is a well-orchestrated symphony of technology and innovation. The city has embraced this revolutionary technique as a means to supplement its meager natural rainfall and address the ever-increasing water demands. As temperatures soar and water reserves deplete, cloud seeding emerges as a beacon of hope in the quest for sustainability. To tackle this formidable challenge, Dubai's government collaborated with leading meteorologists, climatologists, and scientists from around the world. The collective expertise paved the way for the development of sophisticated cloud seeding techniques tailored to the city's unique climatic conditions. Dubai's artificial rain program has demonstrated remarkable success, with clouds yielding precipitation that rejuvenates the landscape and refills vital reservoirs. The city's commitment to sustainable growth and its willingness to embrace innovative solutions has transformed it into a global role model for arid regions facing similar water challenges. While cloud seeding in Dubai has proven its worth, it is not without its challenges and critics. Skeptics question its long-term environmental impact and effectiveness, prompting ongoing research and fine-tuning of the process. Nevertheless, Dubai remains undeterred, investing in further advancements to make artificial rain even more efficient and environmentally friendly. Dubai's pursuit of artificial rain stands as a testament to human ingenuity in the face of adversity. The ability to create rain on demand is a testament to Dubai's unwavering commitment to sustainable development, offering hope to arid regions worldwide. As we journey deeper into this extraordinary feat of engineering, we will uncover the science behind cloud seeding and witness the remarkable transformation of Dubai's arid landscape into a thriving oasis. At the heart of Dubai's artificial rain
Hey, Filter
program
Dog,
lies the
thank you for the
fascinating
cookie.
science of cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is based
He's
on the
saying the
principle of
aluminum acts as an
nucleation, where
accelerant
cloud seeding
in
agents act as
wildfires
nuclei around which water droplets
see
can
that.
form.
I don't
The
know
most
about
commonly
that
used
now.
agents are silver iodide
Yeah.
and potassium iodide, chosen for their effectiveness in promoting
I
condensation.
always question
When
what
introduced
they're
into the
using
atmosphere, these
in
cloud
the
seeding agents
deposits,
serve as a surface
and
for
how
water vapor to
regulated
condense
is
upon.
that,
As air masses rise
Anything
and cool, they
artificial
reach a point where the
nowadays is
temperature
probably
drops below the
dead.
dew point, leading to the formation of tiny
Here,
water
let me pause
droplets
this.
around the cloud seeding particles.
What were you saying?
I said anything artificial right now, I would say it's probably shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if there was an all natural way to cloud seed that you didn't have the risk of damaging the soil and the water that's existing on the ground, because that's the thing. If you're putting, depending on what chemicals you're using to cause these reactions in the cloud, the down wave of that, then you have all the pollutants coming all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always my thing. It's not that I think the concept of this technology is amazing. And as far as helping out farmers and all, I mean, the benefits are just boundless. But who manages? Who regulates? What are they using? Why are they using it? Could it be used for nefarious purposes? Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Hey, Karen Allen, 43. Thank you for the cookie. Happy St. Patrick's Day, love. Is this just going to tell us more about the chemical that they use?
I believe
We're
so.
halfway. Yeah, I'll let it go. So, answer to Johnny's question. Yes, it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
It's possible. I suspect it's probably a 2 or 3 stage process. And I'm
Yes.
speculating. I'm speculating on that. You would have to have done prep work. Like if
I
you
mean,
knew conditions were okay, so hypothetically, if they knew, like looking at the radar, you knew ahead of because they usually can tell if it's going to rain a week out or whatever. So if you knew a front was going to be coming in an area that you wanted to stir the pot, shall we say, you could cloud seed ahead of schedule to intensify. I would think that would be one
Mhm.
option, depending on what you're using. Yeah, I've got my tinfoil hat on for this one. I'm trying to speculate the best ways. And folks, I'm not a scientist. I'm a person that studies a lot and looks up things, but my degrees are not in science. So full disclosure on that one. Not trying to be something I'm not, Earthquakes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, earthquakes are kind of in the same boat as the cloud seeding. It's possible.
I mean, people make their own tornado machines to make their own little mini tornadoes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that at science fairs and stuff.
So
That's some wild stuff
so
where
it's
they
possible.
make the little enclosed area and then
Yeah.
create and they do that in labs also when they're studying the climate.
Mhm.
I now hate saying the word climate. Like I'm so tired of hearing the word. I hate saying it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've lived through so many climate narratives at this point. There was the acid rain. There was the holes in the ozone. I've lived through a bunch of it changed every 5 to 7 years. It was a new thing, with whatever
Mhm.
they told us it was going to be. And, when you're young and impressionable, you just assume the science is right and you repeat the science. Now that I'm older and jaded, I'm just like, who paid you to say that?
Mhm.
I've just become that person. So luckily I'm
Mhm.
not alone, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say almost all the storm chasing people that I know, the radar holes is the only one. That's the only thing that makes them question, like why, why?
Right.
Anything else you talk about, they get
It's
a
fine.
little liberal
But yeah,
on you.
in this day and age, there is no excuse for that. When we have all of these 5G towers, we have,
Mhm.
all these capabilities. I find it absurd
Mhm.
that they have holes in the radar, that they don't know where things are.
Mhm.
It's just convenient. It's very convenient. Things that we should have known. Thus, the theme of the show continues.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a good one. This has
Yeah.
been fun. We've had a good time. We've laughed a lot.
Yeah. It's
And
fun.
our chat has really enjoyed this. I don't know why. I keep messing with my camera. It's blurry today. I don't know what's going on. Oh well.
I thought that was just me.
No, I've messed with it like 5 times. I've tried to fuss with it. I have no idea.
I'm blurry on my end, so
I can see you clearly.
it might be
Thank
just
you, Lance.
Restream screwing with us.
It probably is. Let's blame them. I like the plan. Let's go with it. Thank you, Lance, for the 300 gold pills. Thank you, hun. Metal cleanse. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do want to do a show somewhere down the road about detoxing our bodies. I just haven't found the right book or expert to have that discussion, but I do want to have that. But I've got some really good shows lined up for you guys. I've got some really fun ones.
What's that
Next
one
week-
doctor?
Which one?
Peter McCullough?
Oh, yeah.
He's good.
I don't think I could get him on the
talks.
show. I think I could play videos, but I don't think I'll get him on the show. I think, yeah, I would love it, but doubting it.
Never sell yourself short.
This is true. This is true. Next week, I have Truth Rascal, for those that are familiar with that handle, and we're going to be going over the Schumann resonance. So that is the heartbeat of Earth. That's a fun topic, especially about frequencies and even storms and just everything. So we're going to delve into that one. And she's a former pilot. So
cool.
she's really good at graphs and understanding what we're looking at. So that's going to be a really great show. And we will not be doing a show on Easter because Easter, you know, my mom would kill me. You have no idea. Like, I would never hear the end of it. I've got Johnny coming on in April. Ash will be back. And I'm trying to book a communications expert. So we'll be talking a lot about the linguistics of things. So a lot of good things coming up. Let's see. Von Hitch just gave us a cookie. Bill Gates' next big thing after mosquitoes will be shading the sun. Oh, yes, he already did that. Yes, he's already been trying to do that in multiple countries. Like, when I tell people that, they don't believe me. They're like, no, nobody would do that. I'm like, no, really, he's trying to block the sun. Yeah, that's a thing. Yep. I know. All of these subjects, people just look at me like, that can't be real. And I'm like, I really wish it wasn't. I really wish it wasn't. But yet, here we are.
Mm-hmm. Just crazy.
No show on Easter, perhaps. I don't know what you're talking about, Johnny. Hi, Duppy. Duppy's hilarious. All right. Apparently, Johnny might stream on Easter. Because, yeah.
How about he was joining our TikTok?
I know. It's a reoccurring joke with Johnny and I typically will put on my telephone voice and talk to him about, you know, the horrors of addiction, and we need to have an intervention about his addiction to streaming.
I'll
It's a
talk
serious
Johnny.
problem.
When is Easter? I don't even know.
Oh, good times. Good times. All right. I tell you. Is there anything that we have forgotten that you want to add while I am queuing some stuff up?
I don't think so. I think we nailed what we needed to.
We did really well. I think we did. Well, all right. I'm going to attempt to do the outro. I'm probably going to get mad and curse, but we'll see. It could happen. You never know. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. I'm always grateful, and I have an amazing show planned next week. Please share this show out. Hit the red pill, thumbs up, whatever it is on the platform you're watching on, and give Drew a follow. We've got all of his links. He always has good information. Always good stuff. So thank you so much, everybody.
Much love, everybody.
I'm going to lose it. Yep.